Tesla is reported to be facing broader scrutiny by the government's main Wall Street watchdog group. It follows comments from the company's chief executive, Elon Musk, about taking the company private. Bloomberg Business News reports on the heels of Musk's Twitter message earlier this week that at one point sent Tesla shares higher. Securities and Exchange Commission has begun looking at why such a statement was made via social media rather than a standard filing. On Wall Street, the Dow dropped 74 points today. You're listening to NPR.
Buy it, use it, break it, fix it, trash it, change it, mail, upgrade it, charge it, point it, zoom it, press it, snap it, work it, quick erase it, write it, cut it, paste it, save it, load it, check it, quick rewrite it, plug it, play it, burn it, rip it, drag it, drop it, zip, unzip it, lock it, fill it, call it, find it, view it, code it, jam, unlock it, surf it, scroll it, pause it, click it, cross it, crack it, switch, update it, name it, read it, tune it, print it, scan it, send it, fax, rename it, touch it, bring it, pay it, watch it, turn it, leave it, start, format it, Technologic.
Live from studios in Self Hall on the beautiful campus of Jacksonville State University, it's the Hey Techies Show. Now, here are your hosts in chairs that should have been thrown out years ago, Michael, Bruce, and the Guru.
Well, Guru, you there?
I'm here. I think I'm here. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I was a
there you
little
are.
soft. Now I'm good.
Guru, we're loaded tonight, buddy.
Well,
Absolutely. I don't mean drunk. I mean loaded. I'm not talking about the loaded goat from.
loaded with water.
No, I mean we're loaded with news and
loaded with
stories.
news,
and
okay.
More than we can probably get in, and especially since we don't have Bruce here.
Yeah, I know. Where's Bruce? You know I have to play this.
Of course you do.
Bruce.
Where's Bruce?
I don't know.
I don't know either. He's missing.
Where is Bruce? I think he's in Sin City, actually.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Hey, turn my mic up just a little bit, just another tick. Okay. Yeah, so I think he is. He's doing stuff out there. So anyway, well, Guru, how are you?
I'm doing well. It's been, excuse me. It's been. The first part of the week seemed like it was going slow, but then today it's like, man, one of those days today.
Now it's not slowing down,
and
right?
Yeah, and Friday's upon us, and now we're about to be the weekend, and things are getting very busy around JSU's campus.
Right.
Our marching Southerners are back.
Yeah.
Just glad that when you're walking around at lunch and you hear them practicing, it's just it's like, man, class is about to start. It's just fantastic.
Yeah. So anyway, well, I hope all of you are doing great, and this is the Hey Techie Show. Yes, you heard that right. Right here on WLJS 91.9. Also, we can be heard live on the radio, streamed on the internet. If you go to www.jsu.edu/radio, you can click there and find how to listen to the program anywhere you are on the internet. Also, from the web, from our own website, heytechiesshow.com, you can watch us, see all of our many social networks, in which we'll be talking about some tonight. And you can email us questions at heytechiesshow.com. But if you're one of those that are just want to be on the on the radio,
On
and
the
you
TV.
that too.
You have to come down here to
Well,
be
actually,
on the,
YouTube.
Yeah.
Your voice can be on there. But if you want to be on the radio here locally, and then, of course, across all our streaming devices, you can call in 256-782.
5600.
That would be 5600.
Man, I didn't want to copy Bruce.
Yeah, and then you can be on with us, and we'll be glad to take your call.
yeah,
and you don't have to. It doesn't have to be a topic we're on.
See,
You
like
could be some
last
other
week,
topic.
A longtime listener, Micah,
That's right.
from the great state of
It was
Maine,
so
called
good.
us.
Yeah, so good to hear from him.
And then Daniel called a few weeks back.
That's true.
So
We answered a couple of good
give us a
calls.
call.
Yeah, we'll be glad to take your call.
Yes.
Yeah, let's see. Right off the bat here, Guru, I've got something that it's. I mean, for most people, I don't know how many people watch golf.
I don't.
I didn't figure you did. Didn't figure you did, Gary. Let's see. It's right here. Where did I put it? Let's see, I put it where I've just got to look through my stuff here. I thought I had it right here because I would.
You're starting to act like the talent not prepared.
No, I am prepared, but somehow or another, must have closed that information. I can't believe I did that. Well, anyway, did you know that the PGA, they have PGA Tour. They have,
right.
Yeah. Apparently, their website has been hacked, and and so they're saying it's rumored that they're being demanded. They're demanding Bitcoin ransom to unencrypt some of their files that they got into. They say that they believe that they've gotten into some future graphics for some events that they've locked. One of
and all this is on their website, or
well, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. I guess a network. That's how they put it.
Gotcha.
They infiltrated, supposedly penetrated their network.
Gotcha.
According to this report, they had a message: your network has been penetrated. All files on each host in the network have been encrypted with a strong algorithm. Let's see. From the report, it says the files contain creative materials for the PGA Championship at Bellerive, and next month's Ryder Cup in France. That includes extensive promotional banners and logos used in digital and print communication and on digital signage around the grounds at Bellerive. The stolen files also include development work on logos for future PGA championships. Some of the work began more than a year ago and cannot be easily replicated, supposedly. The actual original article, I think, was in Golf Week. It's a golf magazine, by the way.
Makes sense. Golf Week, Golf Magazine.
They actually do have a championship going on right now. And just to look at the leaderboard, Fowler, he is actually leading after the first round, the first day. So he's 5 under.
Yes, I'm excited.
Yeah.
I have no idea who he is.
Yeah.
But I'm not excited that they've
Somehow
lost
I
all
knew it.
these. They've had all these files kind of taken for ransom.
Well, but that's,
you know what?
this isn't new.
But you know what I'm thinking?
Oh.
Did you have them backed up, PJ?
Yeah,
Tour?
I know. That's right.
Sounds like they didn't.
Maybe.
But they're maybe. Well,
Maybe. We don't know. I mean, I think the PGA.
It wouldn't be making news if they had the stuff.
Well, hold
backed
on
up,
now.
I think.
Well, I don't know about that. Here, and the reason I'm saying this is they could be mum on this for a lot of reasons why. They might not tell everything they know.
Okay.
See, they may not say. They also, from what I understood, the PGA is saying we don't negotiate with terrorists. Apparently, they're calling them terrorists. I don't know.
Okay.
Well, let's see. Hold on. They're reportedly taking a stance, I guess is what this is saying. Yes, okay, we don't negotiate with terrorists. I think they're saying we're not going to negotiate with them. But the question would be is I don't think we know whether or not they have it backed up because pretty much the PGA is not saying a whole lot. A lot of what is in this is assumptions and pulling from other areas, I guess interviewing people that will remain anonymous, I would assume. So, I don't know. Anyway, but it could be one of those situations where they don't, and if they don't, then that gets serious. If you need that stuff.
We've said it. I've lost count how many times.
Right.
Back your stuff up.
And they may.
And don't just say, okay, I'm going to plug in this external hard drive. Well, that's great and wonderful, but unplug it from your computer and then, even better, take it off site.
Right.
Or just pay for a service if you are so inclined because you don't have to really worry about it then. It's just doing it.
So
we've
anyway.
said that at least 50 times. Maybe.
So we got that going on, and that was just a little throwaway. But we got stuff like we got Elon Musk on the show tonight. Not him personally.
I wish we had him on the show. That'd be awesome.
But anyway, looks like we've already got a caller apparently.
Yeah, hang on.
Well, anyway, we've got that. We've got all kind of stuff that we can that we're going to have fun with tonight. We've got Tesla news that, like I said, Elon Musk. We've got all kind of stuff that I will be enjoying to get in the show. Uh-oh.
They weren't there when I answered the phone.
Oh, they'll have to
Sorry, call back, please.
call back if you. That's the thing. We're only two of us, so sometimes it's going to seem weird But if you want to call in, I would enjoy talking to you. You'll have to call back. It's just one of those things.
Yeah, we'll go to break
Could
here
be, yeah.
right now, and then call us.
Yeah, Hey Techie Show will be right back.
We're just getting started. Plenty more Hey Techies Show for your listening pleasure.
The skills you can develop as a soldier in the Army National Guard can give you an edge in the high-tech job market of tomorrow. The Guard offers career training to take advantage of your skills in science, technology, engineering, and math that can help give you a leg up to a high-paying and rewarding STEM profession. Gain practical experience with emerging technology and equipment not found in the civilian world. The Army National Guard can get you started in an array of STEM-related career fields such as information technology, communication systems, special forces engineers, technical engineering, air traffic control, and chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear science. Get a head start on your career in an exciting new field while earning money to pay for college, all while serving in your own community. Log on to NationalGuard.com or talk to a recruiter in your area to learn about all of the STEM career opportunities available to you in the Army National Guard. Sponsored by the Alabama Army National Guard. Aired by the Alabama Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is an Alabama legacy moment.
The 375,000 acres that make up the 3 ranger districts of Talladega National Forest were purchased by the federal government in 1936 as part of an effort to restore clear-cut timberlands and farmlands no longer capable of producing crops. The beautiful reserve includes the 102-mile Pinhoti National Trail System and Alabama's highest and second highest points, Mount Cheaha and Duggar Mountain.
Sponsored by the Alabama Bicentennial Commission.
When a
ADA,
child
and
plays
this
with
station.
blocks, the skills of a future engineer, rocket scientist, contractor, and architect are developing. A child on the playground is practicing the skills of a future athlete. When a child creates art, the skills of a future illustrator, author, and artist are being discovered. In a first-class pre-K classroom, children do all these things and discover a lifetime love of learning. For more information on pre-K, go to children.alabama.gov or just Google pre-K in Alabama. Sponsored by Alabama Department of Early Childhood Education, the Alabama Broadcasters Association, and this station.
Welcome back into the Hey Techie Show.
Yes, that's in honor of our Marching Southerners
right.
back on campus. We
Yes,
are
sir.
so glad to have them back with us.
Getting ready for the fall here at Jacksonville State
Yes, we
University.
are.
Starting class back the 21st. And we have a caller here who
Yes,
wants
we do.
to relate his first trip here in America. Daniel, how are you doing tonight? Must not be on. Let's see. Hello?
I don't-
Daniel. Is it check up there in the mode up there and make sure it's hello? Are those buttons? Hello, Daniel.
It's set, I think.
What is the 1 and 2? Are those lights on? They have to be. Hello? That's the cue, isn't it? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. Daniel, if you're there, I don't know what's going on. We got problems with the phone system.
Well,
unfortunately.
shocker.
Man.
We had a caller who was check. Is it testing? Daniel, can you hear me yet? Oh, well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Daniel, man. But thank you for calling us, though. We really appreciate you calling, checking in with us.
You might have to drop it and call back or try it again. You there?
This is great radio, folks.
Hey, there we go. Oh, well. Sorry about that. We thought we had it. Don't know what's going on. We'll have to check it out some other time. So
Yeah, we had a storm come through earlier, so it may
I
have
don't know.
did a little fritz with the system, maybe. I don't know.
It's not letting you hang up, I see. There it
That
goes.
finally did. Sorry,
sorry
Daniel.
about that, Daniel, if you're on the phone. Well, anyway, maybe you could try to call back. We'll try it again sometime. Now I done forgot what I was going to talk about here. But no, seriously, I've never been to Vegas.
You never been?
No, I've never been to Vegas.
I've been twice, but it was for conferences. I wasn't never there for just for vacation. It's an interesting place. Very interesting place. The first time I went, my thought was, this is like a different planet. That was my the first time I went many years ago. But the thing I enjoyed the most about Las Vegas was going to visit the Hoover Dam. I mean,
going to visit the
I'm that nerdy.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember when you went, yeah.
Yeah, so if you're ever out there, I highly recommend going to the Hoover Dam and doing the dam tour.
Yeah.
Sorry, I couldn't resist.
Yeah, absolutely. You definitely got to do
Yes.
that. Well, shoot. Well, go ahead.
Oh, I had something to
Yes,
a
absolutely.
story I wanted to cover.
Absolutely,
but
Guru.
unless you want to go into
No, go ahead. Let's start
So
it
this
off.
is a quickie here. So I saw this one and I thought we got to talk about this. And I hated that Bruce is not here because he's the gamer of the three of us.
Yeah.
But a Huntsville college student was recently awarded a scholarship for playing Fortnite. And Fortnite,
Oh, there you go.
I've never played it. One of my nephews plays it a lot, so I'm aware of the game. But this is from WAFF in Huntsville. A college student from Huntsville has been awarded a pretty special scholarship. In the fall, he will attend Ashland University in Ohio as part of its Fortnite team.
Okay.
And this is a quote from the student. It came out, and I said, I might as well hop on and see if I can get any money or whatever. It said Gabriel Alonzo. Fortnite is a battle royale game that has become a gaming sensation. Teachers told WAFF News before that the game had become a distraction in the classroom. So anyway, he was able to turn that distraction into funding his education. So that's pretty cool.
Wow, gaming scholarship.
So here's the full story. It's weird how it came up weird on my. But basically, it goes on to say, what was it? Let's see. Can you tell I prepared? No, I did not. But the guy's only been playing this game for 4 months.
Wow.
And he found out this unique opportunity through a Snapchat ad. The task was to prove to the school that he had what it takes to compete on a national scale. And here's the thing: the student was attending Auburn University, and he was worried, that this was a scam, of course, and about moving from Alabama up to Ohio. But he said everything's fallen into place recently. I'm at a loss for words. Everything this summer has been connecting. It's really working out, and I'm excited. So that's good. I mean, that's neat that we've talked to Trey before several times about the these gaming clubs at their schools, including here at JSU, and a lot of them now they're able to get some money for scholarships.
Right.
That's fantastic. So playing Fortnite for 4 months, and now he's getting to go to school for free. That's just wow, amazing. Anyway, that's what I had, a little quickie there while I was trying to give you some time to get ready.
Oh, well, I'm ready.
Okay, go ahead.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I don't know if many of you know, but we often talk about Windows updates here and the headache that it has become. And, of course, some people say, well, I just never do mine, so it's never a headache. And some people
if you're on Windows 10, you kind of have to.
Right. But if some – yeah, that's true. Unless you have
leave your computer off forever.
Right. Unless you have a sysadmin guy where you work that sort of watches that. There's a sys update system server, and they don't let everything come through because it could break something you're doing.
And that would be if you were in a medium-ish size organization that had Active Directory domain. If you're in a small business and you probably are not using using that infrastructure.
Well, that's true, but I realize
that.
Yeah, but the thing is, some people who run those top organizations,
yes,
are a part of a survey that was done by Susan Bradley This is over at computerworld.com, and she moderates the patchmanagement.org mailing list, basically.
Okay.
So she's been seeing these trends, and so she sent out a survey to a lot of their sysadmin, and what she got back was very interesting. She asked several questions, posed for them several questions. So after
sorry.
Awesome.
Yeah, that was my mistake. I was trying to get ready for the next break, and I messed up. Go ahead.
Pardon me.
Sorry. I gotta figure out how to insert that back in this
We're
playlist.
on top of it tonight.
I know, man.
Of the tech here, buddy. So anyway.
Oh, me. Go ahead.
That's okay, Guru. So anyway, basically, she had penned a letter to Microsoft just telling them the results, asking questions about, giving them the basic problems that they've been dealing with, or as they see it. So some of her interesting respondents, she was very shocked by some of it. Bradley said in her email, "I wasn't surprised that the IT pros who are in charge of patching are unhappy. What was surprised to her was the fact that a majority of the respondents were unhappy. More than 2/3, 69%, reported that they were either not satisfied or very much not satisfied with the quality of Windows updates overall."
Okay.
And she goes on to say if those people in the trenches are not happy, that doesn't bode well for Windows servicing. Well, Windows is doing well, though. They've had Microsoft itself has had some good numbers lately. And
well, a lot of that's doing with their services.
Correct. It says here also that as many as 64% have expressed dissatisfaction with the quality of Windows 10 updates. Now, I'm not exactly sure what that totally means. They said more than 78% said that Windows 10 feature upgrades now released twice a year should be issued only once a year or once every 2 years. Now, part of this, I don't know, this would be a double-edged sword because they've got to act like they're staying with some type of forward-looking trend. You can't just act like you're just trying to play catch-up or defense all the time with your updates. But at the same time, I think part of what they're frustrated about is, the way I see it, is that the enterprise side is so volatile right now. It's updated. There's so many changes. Like, for instance, one of their latest patches, I think the last one, there were 47 possible there were 47 notices of what it might break.
Wow.
From what I understand.
And when you're in mission critical, when users, it's kind of a mission critical if their machine breaks.
Right. I mean, that's
not good for business because then it's lost money, lost time.
This is who we're talking about here. We're talking about, let's say in last month's 2018 July update, 47 known base bulletins with known issues, meaning you might have, there's 47 knowledge bases, but there's known issues with those 47.
Right. And, I mean, I get it in terms of trying to get things fixed, but the volatility, that gets you, now for the consumer, for the typical home user, I'm all about, let's get these updates to them. Because, I mean, they're just, if they're inconvenienced from a,
right, exactly,
some sort of issue, it's not as mission critical. I mean, to consumer, it's still bad. Don't get me wrong, but but in the enterprise, you've got to tread lightly,
right,
and be methodical of how you push out these updates and testing and all that good stuff. And it's not just Windows here; it's, other enterprise business applications that companies use. I mean, it's not just the operating system of their workstations,
right?
It's other pieces of software they use and. All these companies have adopted, for the most part, agile development. We've talked about that on the show before.
Right.
For those who are not aware, basically, agile just allows software development teams to release software quicker. That's just kind of the 50,000-foot view of it. There's a lot more to it than that, but that's the new thing. And I'm not saying it's good or bad. We can debate that later. And probably not for this. It's probably not a good topic for this show because it'd probably go over most people's heads, but that's what the product of that is. All these releases are coming out more frequently, and it's not just Microsoft. Other software companies are doing similar having that similar release cycle. And it used to be, quarterly or, not saying Windows, but in business applications. You used to get them quarterly or semi-annually.
Right.
And now you're getting them, you could be getting them monthly or even more frequently. And there's a whole process to have to test. Anytime you change stuff that's mission critical, you have to test it very thoroughly before you can put it out there in the wild.
Right.
And Windows is no exception. That's my, I guess I would say 2 cents, but it's more like my 25 cents worth.
Yeah.
I feel like. Does that make sense to you?
Yes. I understand it totally.
And you're more in the trenches, Michael, than I am with your occupation because,
Like I ran across this one thing, and it's not, and I don't want to blame Microsoft for this, and it's not Microsoft, but this DPI scaling, and they've had it for a long time
right.
in Windows.
It's become more...
it's more of how to fix...
Well, the DPI stuff is more prevalent now, or it's being used more because of the high-resolution monitors.
Yeah, but
available.
But apparently there's a known issue with Adobe products, and particularly InDesign.
Really?
Where if you have 2 different monitors and the DPI scaling is not the same, and this usually happens when you have a Surface Book, which has really high, like 3,000 by 2,000.
Yes.
DPI.
And your monitor that's attached to it is probably not that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So the monitor you're attached to it is less than that, but it's like 100%. Well, you have to do. Windows recommends on the Surface Book a 200%. Because that makes things you can see
it's like, ooh.
Well, but it's normal if you do the 100%. It's like ant writing on there on the Surface Book because the resolution's so high. But it makes great videos and other things where the pixel's so small. But if you're doing for like Word documents or anything like on the desktop itself, it would be really small. But this Adobe product, which is in InDesign for one, has a scaling issue. If that happens, and if you go to the top of the menu, you actually are over several menus before this menu highlights. When you go,
I got you.
It sees it in the wrong place.
Yes.
Well, to fix that, you end up having to make a manifest that basically tells that software when it loads to ignore the DPI scaling.
Oh,
so there's a workaround for it.
A little hack job.
Yeah. So there are things like that. But my point is, there's a lot of stuff like that now.
Yeah.
you have to, it's a constant thing, and admins get tired of, I got to hack this. I got to hack that. it's just tiring. It's just frustrating.
It is.
It is part of the job, but.
True.
But then you have some users, I want to live on the bleeding edge, which I totally understand. I want all the new features. I want to try them out, and there is that. So it's a big balancing act.
It is a balancing act, and I'm one to be more kind of cautious in terms of like the Windows updates. Like the security ones, yes, I take those immediately, but like the features, I'm not so keen on taking those right away, especially when it comes to devices that I use for my job that are important.
Right.
If I have like this Surface Book in front of me is my personal laptop, I can put it on there if it breaks, so I can deal with it, or it mess something up. It's not mission critical.
Right.
But I guess I have a different perspective because I support users that use enterprise business applications, and we're very methodical in testing those releases before we put them out in the wild. We want to make sure we don't cause more frustration, more pain,
Right.
And that's, I call it self-inflicted frustration and pain. But anyway. So it was a little eye-opening for Microsoft, sounds like.
Well, I wonder. I kind of wonder if it is.
Or they had a hunch and they said, let's find out, and then now the facts are in.
Yeah, I don't think. This is an external group to Microsoft.
But you gotta. Oh, really?
Yeah, this is.
Sorry.
Patchmanagement.org is another.
I missed that.
But
I will say this, Microsoft, you need to listen, because yes, you're making money off services, and that's great and wonderful, but you've got this base of customers, in business that rely on you and give you a lot of money for Windows and other things. So it would be in your best interest, I guess, to listen to them and try to help them out somehow. And it's kind of very reminiscent of how it used to be before, I guess, Windows XP maybe.
Yeah.
When you had you had like two different versions of Windows. You had the NT 2000, professional version of Windows, and then you had like the consumer edition. And there were two products, and I think was it Windows XP. They kind of brought those together. Am I correct?
Yeah, I think that's about right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was trying to think back, and
sometimes it all runs together eventually.
They brought it together as one product. With just different variants of the product, like Windows XP Home, Windows XP Pro. But they weren't doing agile development back then. They weren't releasing these major releases every 6 months.
Right.
So now it's just, I wonder if there's going to be another fork in the road back out.
I don't know.
I mean, this food for thought there. We could talk about that for 20 minutes.
Oh yeah, I know. I don't know. I think they're on this path, and I'm not saying there's a way out. I don't know if they want to. That this path is something that they've taken. And I think on purpose. That's what I think. I mean,
yeah.
It is the direction. It is the direction that they're going, one way or the other, whether you like it or not. And the thing is, and we've said already, their bottom line has been growing. Their profit has been growing. Their bottom line is
bottom line is profit.
Anyway,
yeah.
Their bottom line's been doing better.
Yeah, and a lot of that's we've covered on the show before. It's services. So that's where they're doing very well with Office 365 and things like that. Azure, their cloud services.
But the majority of business is going to use Windows. I mean, it's just the way it is. I mean, I don't see that changing much. There would have to be another OS, and what's it going to be? I mean, I just don't see it.
I don't see one coming.
Now there's some embedded stuff and things like that run off of other things, but
but you have entire organizations that are completely Windows shops.
Yeah.
I mean, not just from the workstations, but all the way down to the enterprise applications and the servers. Right. It's an entire Microsoft stack.
Right, and then you've got another section of manufacturing that'd be like Unix or something like that. Right. Boeing, I think they have a lot of Unix stuff. From what I understand.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're basically Linux, Unix, Windows.
Right. And then you have your Apple shops.
Yeah, there are Apple shops, but I mean, a lot of times behind the scenes, there's probably something else too.
Yeah, that's true.
Just saying.
That's true.
Just saying.
So for weeks now, we've also been talking about Tesla. I mean,
yes.
Guru talks about Tesla via the SpaceX, and all
I like the SpaceX more than Tesla. I would love to have a Tesla, but I can't afford a Tesla.
I'm sorry, I messed that up, didn't I? Guru talks about Elon Musk. That's what I meant to say. I almost merge Musk and Tesla. It almost seems like it's interchangeable parts.
Well, I merged Musk, Tusk. Elon Musk.
Yeah, it's Tusk.
SpaceX.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Well, anyway, I mean, I think. Everybody has seen that Musk has been tweeting. Again, not new here for Musk, but he tweeted the other day that he had the money or he had the financing to take it private. Now, the question is become, does he really have the financing? Who is going to finance him? And this odd way of what his plan is to sort of take it private, but leave some of the investors still have a chunk of the investment.
Let's back it up first. He pulled a Trump. I'll just call it that. He announced this on Twitter.
Yeah.
And right before we came on, NPR covered a story about the Security Exchange Commission is getting involved now because they're claiming he shouldn't have done that through Twitter, but that's a whole nother story. So I wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah, see, that's another thing that he's aggravated about.
I mean, he's a maverick. Yeah, don't get me wrong.
He's aggravated about he made a blunder in one of these shareholder meetings that happened, and he's very aggravated about the fact that he can't watch what he says on these things. That's another thing that frustrates Elon. I don't think he really likes the rigidness of how you have to be as far as the financial side in having a publicly held company. that's what he doesn't like. He's not happy about that.
Yeah, because when you're a publicly held company, I mean, there's a lot of people you have to answer to, all the shareholders.
He doesn't want. He's tired of that. He doesn't want to answer the shareholders. I don't.
And there's
think.
also a lot of additional regulation because of it being publicly held. I mean, you think of like the Enron scandal and other things in the past.
Now, here's the tweet. So this is sort of convoluted in a way because listen how he words this.
Okay.
Am considering taking Tesla private at 420. Period. Funding secured. Period.
Well, that
was the 7th.
Yeah. I take that as $420 a share.
Yeah, that's correct. That's
because
I know that's what
it was currently. It's in the 300s right now.
Yeah, it was. That's a little bit above. That was like, it was 367.25
right.
on the, and I think it's actually, what was it today? I thought it fell a little bit today. That was the 7th. Today's the 9th. Let's see. I think I got another story here. That doesn't list it. What is? I have another story here that while Guru is looking that up, what the shares were today.
Oh, you want me to look it up?
Oh, I thought you. Oh, I'm sorry.
I can look it up.
You're doing something else.
Yeah, I can look it up. Hang on. I got it. Go ahead.
Tesla shares today. Closing bell.
$352 share.
Oh, 352. Okay. So he's offering 420. See, that's
but I think what he's saying is, I think when it hits 420, maybe he's
no, he'll have to offer more to buy it all.
Yeah, that's what I told you the other day.
Yeah, he's gonna have to buy it all back.
Right.
Somehow he'll have to have
not necessarily him, but somebody, some entity.
That's the funding part.
Yeah,
that's just
right.
He's got to have some backer that wants to buy. They want to buy it all back, but then you got to have
some equity firm.
Correct. You got to have some folks that want to sell.
But in order, you're gonna have to sell way above the current market price.
That's right.
Because you've got to entice and convince and have current shareholders agree. Yes, I want to sell my stock for that price. My ownership in the company.
Correct.
Because that's all stock
that's
is.
the way I understand it.
That's what a share of stock is. You own a portion of the company. Like if I own a share of Tesla right now,
right,
$352, and they got ready to take it private, they'd come to me and say, Guru, if I gave you $420 for your share of stock, would you buy it? And I have to decide yes or no.
Right.
And for them, they'd have to be able to do that to every outstanding share.
Yeah.
I mean, and this is not new stuff, folks. I mean, this happens every day. Companies go private. I mean, probably.
Oh, sure.
Probably every week.
And actually, Dell has gone private, then back public again.
Yes. I mean, this is not like earth-shattering news that a company is going private.
Maybe how he's doing it is a little odd.
Yeah, how he's doing it is odd. It's not. Well, not say odd. It's not typical. Not typical. It's atypical. But Trump. Musk. Sorry.
Oh, Bruce would be mad.
Sorry, President Trump. Elon Musk is not your typical CEO. Just saying.
Oh, no.
If you've been under a rock, I'm going to tell you, he's not your typical CEO.
We know that. Well, when the Hey Techies show comes back, we'll move on.
Well, I want to talk about SpaceX.
Yeah, I know.
We're talking about Musk.
We can.
Yeah.
When we come back, we'll let Guru talk about SpaceX. Hey Techies show. Be right back.
Don't go anywhere. There's more in the queue lined up just for you.
Alabama legacy moment.
Cheaha Mountain, often called Mount Cheaha, is the highest natural point in Alabama at 2,407 feet above sea level. It is located in north central Alabama in Cheaha State Park, surrounded by the Talladega National Forest in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains. This dramatic landscape gets its name from the Creek Indian name for the mountain, Chaha, meaning high place.
Sponsored by the Alabama Bicentennial Commission, the ABA, and this station.
When a child plays with blocks, the skills of a future engineer, rocket scientist, contractor, and architect are developing. When a child expresses himself with colors, paint, and clay, The skills of a future illustrator, author, and artist are being discovered. A child on the playground is developing the skills of a future athlete. When a child is involved in dramatic play, she's learning the skills of a future doctor, nurse, and veterinarian. In Science Center investigations, a young child practices the skills of a future horticulturist, inventor, and archaeologist. During circle time sharing, the skills of a future teacher, lawyer, and journalist are being explored. A child reading a story in the library is honing the skills of a future librarian, teacher, researcher, and writer. Future stars are born in the classroom's music center. In a first-class pre-K classroom, children do all these things, and in the meantime, they discover a lifetime love of learning. For more information, go to children.alabama.gov. Sponsored by the Alabama Department of Early Childhood Education, the Alabama Broadcasters Association, and this station.
This is an Alabama legacy moment.
In the late 1960s, NASCAR founder Bill France was hunting for a location for a new racetrack that would rival the size and speed of Daytona. Eventually, he settled on an abandoned airfield near Talladega, Alabama, and started construction on May 23, 1968. Hello, I'm Bobby Allison, NASCAR 1983 Cup champion and four-time winner here at Talladega Superspeedway as it was renamed in 1989. With 33-degree bank turns and 2.66 miles of asphalt, it's the fastest racetrack in the nation. Bill Elliott set the existing NASCAR speed record here in 1987. Every driver that's run at Talladega has had a wild ride or two. My final win here was over Dale Earnhardt by a fraction of a second. You never know who's going to make it the full 500 miles, and that's what makes Talladega one of the most exciting racetracks in the world.
Sponsored by the Alabama Bicentennial Commission, the ABA, and this station.
You're listening to the Hey Techies Show.
Welcome back into the Hey Techie Show. So glad to have everybody here. And if you want to call 256-782-5600,
and we hope the
we
system will
can try
work.
it again. We have no idea what happened.
Or if you send us an email, we definitely will read that on the air.
Questions at heytechieshow.com.
Or if you're in the neighborhood, just stop by and knock on the glass.
Yeah, we might try that too. So anyway, the Guru wanted,
yeah.
You were talking.
We're talking about Elon Musk, so we got to talk about SpaceX, right?
Sure.
So this is your SpaceX launch update. I've seen the team to do this about every week. We're about 2 weeks. We're 2 weeks out from the launch. So for those SpaceX fans, yeah, you got to wait. Sorry. They're targeting August 23rd, 10:33 p.m. Telstar 18V, Telesat. Anyway, they had one this past week on the 7th of August, but it was really early in the morning, so I was asleep. But I did watch the replay. Anyway, that's not what I had to cover. That's just an aside. So this past week, NASA announced and assigned the astronauts that'll be flying the first cruise that'll be leaving on a U.S. spacecraft from U.S. soil to the space station. And this is not the last time this happened was when the space shuttle was retired, which was what, 2011? Am I correct?
Well, you should know.
Yes, 2011. I thought I'd actually research this one a little bit. Anyway, so yeah, they announced the astronauts, and so there's two different spaceships or space vehicles that are going. One is the Boeing Starliner.
Okay.
Built by Boeing, and then of course the SpaceX Dragon 2, which is the second iteration of the Dragon, this one's rated for human travel.
Right.
And there's an article from NASA that you can read about because it kind of gives some bios of these astronauts.
Okay.
So like the Starliner's test flight astronauts for the first flight is Eric Bowe, Christopher Ferguson, and Nicole Mann.
So three
astronauts for that one, for the first Starliner one. The first Crew Dragon, which is the SpaceX vehicle, Robert Benkin, Douglas Hurley. I think I said there's two. Okay, there's just two in that one. I'm sorry.
Oh, you can only fit two. Huh?
Well, that's the crew. I mean, they may have more capacity than that.
Just kidding.
I think they're.
Don't get upset, Musk. Don't get upset.
Yeah. So, anyway, it's a little bit more information. It's got the the next two. There's Starliner first mission and then Crew Dragon first mission. The first mission is a test mission, then the actual first mission. John Casada, I'm sorry, I'm butchering his name. Sunita Williams for the first mission of the Starliner, and the first Crew Dragon, Victor Glover and Michael Hopkins. So there you go. It's kind of exciting time, kind of that, kind of reminiscent of what I've read about in history when, like, NASA, well, at the time it was, like I said, Air Force, because it was pre-NASA when they announced the Mercury 7, the first 7 astronauts of the U.S. space program.
Right.
Back in, I guess that was back in the 50s, probably.
Okay.
But anyway, this kind of reminded me of that. It had a big, like, press conference and the videos online, but I thought that was neat. So very, very cool. So we know who our next generation of astronauts that are actually leaving on U.S.-built spacecraft.
Well, there you go.
Going to the space station. And I think the first launch is targeted for next year, I think, in 2019 sometime.
Really?
So we still got some time. It's not like it's going to happen.
2019.
I can look up the
it seems like I remember us discussing that before.
Yeah, I think it's 2019 is what they're looking at. But these crews, I think, have been training for quite some time.
Oh, yeah. And they would have to train some more. And I think that they had looked at some of the things that SpaceX was building to fly on. I think they've inspected some of the crafts.
Yeah, they're already they're already training it, on the both.
Right.
But yeah, I was trying to look through this little SpaceX app and I can't find it like off the cuff quick. But anyway, so I think it's 2019.
That's close enough.
Yeah, close enough. Anyway, but yeah, that was my little SpaceX-ish update. We got Boeing involved in that too. So,
well, you got to hit them up at
if
once.
It ain't Boeing, I ain't going. That's what they
say.
Is that
right?
No, I'll go on anything. That
really?
Was take me. If I got to ride to space, I don't. As long as it was safe, I would ride on whatever. Wouldn't matter if it's a Starliner or.
Do you know what else?
Muskmobile or whatever.
Do you know what else is going to be happening in 2019? Supposedly.
What's that?
Well, I guess it's okay.
Hopefully, Hey Techies will be going in 2019.
Right. The Unicode Consortium is working on a list of emojis.
They're always working on that, but go ahead.
Yeah, they shared some details of this. Supposedly they're going to include 12. They will include the service dog, deaf people, and mixed race couples.
Okay.
Anyway, also a flamingo apparently.
A flamingo. That's important.
A white heart.
How we live without the flamingo emoji? I
don't know. Let's see.
I feel deprived.
An ice cube, a sloth.
An ice cube.
A skunk, ballet shoes.
That's it, skunk. Missing that.
Falafel. Do you know what that is?
It's like some sort of it's a food item.
It's a dish. But look what it looks like.
Look
what it supposedly. It looks weird. I mean, it's some kind of dish that.
I don't like the falafel I've seen. Like street vendors in New York City sell falafels. Let me look at that again. Turn around here.
I don't know what that is. I can't figure out what they're saying that is.
Hang on, let me see. Let's see. What is that?
I don't know. I can't figure it out either. And we'll post the note.
Yeah. What's this other thing next to it?
I think that's some kind of
like a little I Dream of Genie ball.
No, I think that's a Hindu temple. That's some kind of temple.
Yeah, I guess from a. And then what's up with the axe? We don't already have that as a.
I don't know. I wondered that too. I didn't know we were gonna. I don't know what the axe is about. I didn't think we were supposed to be making weapons.
So we have the squirt gun now instead of a
I mean,
pistol.
You got to have a rubber axe, right?
It is rubber. It's a very good replica.
Yeah, it won't hurt anybody.
No, not at all.
And apparently there are still some Unicode 11 emojis there that Apple has said it plans on adding later this year. That it has not done so.
I think there's a wiki of all these emojis.
Oh yeah, there is. There's a Emojipedia.
Yeah, Emojipedia. Yeah, I've looked at it before. It's quite interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's this list. There's kneeling person. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, they keep on.
Oh yeah, I mean, emojis are just interesting. That's the one word I would put for it if I could say.
We have the Unicode 11.0 from this year. We have a hippopotamus was added. I mean, this is something you can sit here like hours and get off in some like all these
I
tangents.
guess, but I don't.
Roll of toilet paper. We have a roll of toilet paper emoji in the Unicode 11.0.
Oh yeah, you gotta have that.
It's coming to iOS at September through December of 2018. That's what it says.
Yeah, well, finally a roll.
So I can't wait. I've got to put in the iOS update that it contains that the moment it comes out.
Right, because you need a roll of toilet paper to send people.
Right. When you have to express something.
Sure, right.
Emojis.
And the only way that you can express it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm trying to keep it together here. Interesting. Very interesting.
Well, by the way, if you're needing a roll of toilet paper for the sniffles, guess what else you can do?
What?
According to an article in Tech News World, CVS is offering doc visits via smartphone video.
What? Who is?
CVS is offering doc visits via smartphone video.
You can do that with, there's a service called Teladoc. Does something already. But this is through CVS.
It says CVS's Health Retail Minute Clinic.
They've had Minute Clinic for a while.
Wednesday announced Minute Clinic video.
Okay,
visit.
so they're
a video visit.
They've had the Minute Clinics for a while. Like you actually, basically, it's like a doc in a box, but in the drugstore box. But this is the virtual.
I guess a virtual video of some type.
Yeah, because
virtual healthcare offering designed to assist people with minor illnesses and injuries, skin conditions, and other wellness needs.
Yeah, like the Teladoc I was mentioning, they're completely online, and I've actually used Teladoc before, and I was pleased with it.
It's going to be available in 9 states: Arizona, California, Florida, Idaho, Maine, Maryland, Mississippi, New Hampshire, and Virginia.
Okay,
and of course, it's available in D.C. That'd be Washington, D.C., where all those folks have to get to the doc as quick as possible.
That's right.
Let's see. Health spokesperson Amy Lanscott. Sure. We are planning to expand to other states in the weeks and months ahead. Well, that was a little.
Because didn't they merge with was it Aetna? Or they bought there's some sort of.
CVS has more than 9,800 retail locations.
Didn't CVS merge with some sort of insurance company?
District.
Anyway, that's kind of an aside there.
Okay,
yeah,
so
there's this is breaking news. U.S. Doctors Group opposes merger of CVS and Aetna, so it hadn't happened yet. All that we covered that on the show, because that's not really tech. Anyway,
but apparently it's going to. I can see and the Minute Clinic video visit services.
I like the name Minute Clinic.
Yeah. Well, you just hope it lasts that long, right? Coughs and bronchitis, diarrhea.
It may actually
I don't know how that works.
It may actually be truly a Minute Clinic on the virtual.
Earaches and ear infections, flu-like symptoms, gout. They can do gout over video. Heartburn and indigestion, nausea.
My gout's flaring up. Okay, here.
Seasonal allergies. Yeah, sinus infections, sore throats, STDs. I don't know how that works over video, but okay. Upper respiratory infections and UTIs. That would be urinary tract infections for those of you that don't know. And vomiting.
Yeah.
I mean, vomiting?
I'm vomiting.
Don't you just try to let that go and keep water fluids in you?
Well, if it's bad enough, you need something maybe. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not a doctor.
If it's really... Well, I know, but if it's really bad,
I'm trying to be a tech personality on the radio, but I'm not a doctor. I know that.
If you
not trying either.
Yeah, but if you really needed, you probably need to go to the hospital.
Well,
I mean, bad.
If it's severe enough, then you need to go see somebody in person. But if it's like a minor thing that doesn't require immediate medical attention,
well, this is for minor stuff.
I think this is a very worthwhile thing. And
by the way,
they're just trying to drive more efficiencies through the healthcare process, and I mean, I think that's fine.
They're trying to drive more visits to the CVS pharmacy app.
Well, of course, we'll send it right to that CVS app. You can go pick it up at your local CVS.
Oh, by the way, it says here the technology platform provided by virtual care provider Teladoc. A CVS partner for the past 3 years.
It's being provided by Teladoc?
That's what it says.
Yeah. Okay. So they just basically it's a rebranded.
That's what it sounds like.
Kind of like a licensee or franchisee-ish, thingy-ish, whatever.
That's what it sounds like.
Okay. Teledoc's very popular. I mean, a lot of your larger employers that offer health insurance to their employees, which they do, obviously, if they're large employers, they either for reduced like copay or even no copay, you can do the Teledoc option, which for you out of pocket saves you money, and I think it actually saves the insurance plan money because I think the reimbursement is lower, the cost is lower. They don't charge as much for a doctor visit. I use visit in air quotes, but saves money to the insurance plan.
But does that really change the what is it, doctor's home visit? I mean, does this really change the whole idea of visiting a patient, making house calls? So a doctor makes up. Boy, this is like
virtual
house calls, video house calls.
Yeah. I think it's got its place, but
sure.
Like I said, if it's very severe enough, then this is not gonna replace it. But if you've got like runny nose stopped up, I feel achy or whatever, you can tell the doctor this over the phone and say, hey, this is what my symptoms are. They can ask some questions to follow up. And granted, they can't do lab work and stuff, obviously, like check for like elevated white blood cell count, but if it's minor enough, I think this can handle most of the time. I'm a believer in this. If it's used properly, it's not a replacement for everything.
Oh yeah,
but if people that would otherwise have to go to the doctor and wait, that means the doctor's office can be more efficient. So I think it's a win for everybody.
By the way, those of you that were deeply upset by Sinclair's bid, basically they wanted to monopolize all TV, local TV. By the way, it's dead. I just so you can put your hearts to rest. They put an abrupt end to Sinclair's the bid.
Did we talk about that?
Well, we I don't know that we talked about it, but I did know Bruce knew about it.
Oh, okay.
Because he sent me a link about all the different companies that were going to be run by Sinclair in case that happened. So everybody can put their, you can put your axe and picks down, put the torches down. You don't have to run after this going to happen. You don't have to, this going to be okay. They're not going to take over all these local broadcasts, so it's okay. You're good to go.
You know what? It's almost time for
our
dose.
It is almost time for our dose.
And we've got something. We'll go with this little teaser for our dose. Movie Pass is back in the news again this week. It's like the third week in a row
that we could talk about them. And if they keep changing, I think that's what they're trying to do.
I think they like the media attention. Either that, or
let's tweak it this way,
or
let's tweak it that way.
What did I tell you earlier? Let me go back because that was perfect how I phrased it. And it's time for me to play this music. Hang on, okay. What did I say about Movie Pass earlier? I can't remember. It's obvious that they're running a company by the seat of their pants right now.
Yeah,
so
something
more
like
to come in our dose.
Hey, Techie Show. Be right back.
Live from NPR News in Washington, I'm Jack Speer. Vice President Mike Pence has unveiled the Pentagon's plan for a new branch of the armed forces. NPR's Jeff Bromfield reports the proposed Space Force will be the first new armed service since 1947.
Space is currently handled mainly by the Air Force, but today Vice President Pence said it was time for that to change.
The time has come to establish the United States Space Force.
The Space Force's main job would be to oversee scores of navigation, communications, and spy satellites run by the military. President Trump called for the new military branch back in June, but creating it will require an act of Congress. So for now, the Pentagon will set up a unified command, Space Command, to oversee the different systems in orbit. Assuming Congress gives the thumbs up, the Trump administration wants to see a real Space Force by 2020. Jeff Brumfield, NPR News, Washington.
President Trump on vacation this week in Bedminster, New Jersey, today outlined plans for prison reform. Citing a low jobless rate and a tight labor market, the president says businesses should be looking at previously overlooked candidates to fill jobs, including prison inmates. Trump says he wants to implement training programs for those serving time.
The bill expands vocational educational programs to eligible federal inmates so that more of them can learn a trade, and that's what we're doing. We're teaching them trades. We're teaching them different things that they can put into good use and put into use to get jobs.
The president discussed the proposed reforms with governors and states' attorneys general at his New Jersey Golf Club. The administration is pressing Congress to send the White House legislation providing the Bureau of Prisons with $50 million over the next 5 years for drug treatment and job training. The U.S. Army's temporarily halted a process of discharging immigrants who were recruited under a program designed to attract people with specialized skills. Here's NPR's Richard Gonzalez.
The program is called Military Accessions to the Vital National Interest, or MAVNI. It was established in 2009 to help recruit immigrants with special language and medical skills in exchange for a fast track to citizenship. But the program was suspended in 2016 amid security concerns. That left hundreds of recruits in limbo. Then this summer, the Army began discharging dozens of the immigrant recruits, in many cases with little explanation. Now the Pentagon has issued a memo suspending all involuntary separation actions or discharges. A spokesperson for the Army says all MAVNI recruits will still be subject to thorough background checks. Richard Gonzalez, NPR News.
The Producer Price Index, the cost of goods before they head down the pipeline to consumers, rose 3.3% last month from a year earlier. On Wall Street, a mixed close today. The Dow was down 74 points. The Nasdaq closed up 3 points. The S&P was down 4 points. This is NPR.
So you want to talk about Movie Pass, right?
Well, yeah, we can. I guess I need to turn this music down.
Nah, just let it run, man. We'll just talk right over the top of it. So we before the break.
Well, first of all, welcome back to Hey Techies.
We'll get
our dose.
We'll get to that later. We got so much to cover. The people know the show. If they're listening, they already know it's Hey Techie
maybe not.
Show. Oh yeah, they know. It's Hey Techie Show. But here we go. So Movie Pass. So we got to back up. Weeks ago, you got to tell the backstory. Weeks ago, Movie Pass started saying, okay, well, we're going to have to make some changes to our format. We're going to have to do things like we're going to have to some of the movies you might not get to see on the Movie Pass. They might be banned for a few weeks or what have you.
Right.
Then they came back and said, okay, well, we're going to have to up it like $5 a month.
I thought it was $20.
Well, they were doing that. They were going to up it $20 a month.
I'm losing track. So it went from $9.95 to like $15.
Yeah, but I'm thinking that they were going to have a higher range or something. So they were going to up it $5.
Yeah,
I think the previous week.
Maybe, but here's the thing. After all that, they said, never mind.
Yeah.
This came out on Monday. So Movie Pass is restructuring its subscription model once again, today announcing that it will not be raising prices for its subscribers and instead return to its traditional $9.95 a month price tag, while limiting how often users can go to the movies every month. Effective August 15th, subscribers will transition to the new model upon their renewal and from then on be able to see 3 movies every month at $9.95. And this move follows negative responses that the company received after it announced its intention to raise the base subscription to $14.95 a month just last week. These users will also gain access to up to a $5 discount on any additional movie tickets purchased after they see their 3 allotted movies in any given month.
So let me get this straight. There was people that were upset about having to pay more money for the service. That's shocking.
I know.
I find that hard.
Breaking
to
news, folks. Can you believe it?
I can't believe that. That's
here's a quote. Here's a quote from Let's see. I don't know what this is quoting, but anyway, I think it's from. This is the MoviePass CEO. Anyway, we are now creating a framework to provide the vast majority of subscribers with what they want most: low cost, value, variety, and broad availability, and to bring some moderation to the small number of subscribers who imposed undue cost on the system by viewing a disproportionately large number of movies, said CEO of MoviePass Mitch Lowe. He continues to say, we believe this new plan is a way for us to move forward with stability and continue to revitalize the entrenched industry and return moviegoing to everyone's financial reach. So there you go. Said just like a CEO, I guess.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
and granted, they are trying to. They've got to figure out from a financial standpoint how they can have some longevity in this model. But gosh, there's been. But like I said earlier to you, Michael, when you shared this with me, I was like, they're running the company by the seat of their pants.
It sounds like
they have no plan. It's what it sounds like. I mean, I don't know, but I mean. They just kind of waffling back and forth on so many different things.
I
mean, really. Anyway,
I just never understood how the thing was going to work to start with. I think I've been on record.
So now it's going to be $9.95 a month.
What was that before?
Well, I know, but it's going to be $9.95 a month, but 3 movies in that month. But it also says here that after you do your 3, you can get a $5 discount on additional movie tickets for those that
a $5 discount.
Well, I mean, about maybe half price. I don't know how much.
Oh no, that's a great deal. I mean, a $5 discount.
But even for 3 movies at $10 a month, I think that's a good deal.
So you pay $9.95 a month. You get 3 movies, for which they say you will not be banned on your movies that you watch, meaning you could new releases.
Yes,
and you will gain up to a $5 discount on any additional movie tickets. So they could be like 12 cents discount because it's up to a $5 discount. But still, even that,
let's go to
if it was $4.
Let's see what the MoviePass site says. Hang on a second. Let's go look. Just stall for just a second while I look this up. Of course, it should be right here. I looked at it last week probably. Let's see. See plans. Let's see. They don't say. Well, they don't have the new stuff out here yet.
Well, it may change next week, so I wouldn't really. I wouldn't really. Guess
yeah, okay.
I wouldn't really.
If you don't like it, if you don't like it,
just wait because it may change next week. Yeah, I mean it'll be maybe $4.95 next month. You never know.
So let me mention this real quick. This is kind of from last week, and we talked about Apple.
Well, yeah, we do.
Was the first publicly traded company to hit $1 trillion in market value.
Sure. Yeah.
Well, there was a memo that Tim Cook sent out to employees after that happened. And in the memo, Cook said that while the valuation is, quote, a significant milestone, end quote, the company should be proud of it's not the most important measure of Apple's success. He thanked its employees and said that it's their hard work and refusal to settle for less that makes Apple great. That's poor writing by the person who wrote this article. But the full text of it is in this MacRumors article, which we will post in the show notes. Well, I will say though, there was another tech kind of, I guess, vlogger, journalist that has his own site. And he personally had an issue with a iMac Pro, and I kind of read that. I don't have it prepared to not talk about, but basically he was having a very bad experience. Like he was having a problem with the, I think it was the display. Or something on the iMac Pro. So he took it in. He just recently bought it, and he took it in, and they diagnosed that we're going to have to replace some part. So fine, he leaves it with them. They replace the part. He goes to pick up his iMac Pro, and like they had to take the screen off to get to whatever they had to replace. Well, they did a bad job of putting the screen on, and like I think that they didn't fix the problem, and then they made it worse because like his screen had these halos and stuff going on. Like they broke the display. That's what it sounded like, or it messed it up worse. He just went through a bunch of, just had to jump through hoops, because Apple screwed up the repair, and they were not wanting to take ownership of it. And this is kind of, I say all that to say I've had similar experiences recently with Apple. Not recently, but within the last 12 months, I'll say. And it's just, I hope they go back to being more of that customer centric they used to be, because they're not right now. I'll just go ahead and say it.
Well, there's at least one opinion piece over in China
Okay.
about how some of the people over there feel like they've gotten gypped by Apple. That they think they deserve some of the $1 trillion that Apple has amassed in valuation.
So what's their basis for the reason for that?
Well, because they feel like that they've gotten gypped. They've gotten their workers have worked in sweatshops.
Oh, you're talking about the people who manufacture their products.
Some of those people, yeah. Pardon me. This article, let's see, there's an article for CNBC that mentions the article, and from my understanding, this article here, and when I get, is from en.people.cn, which would be a Chinese website, and it says, as Apple shares unexpectedly hit a record high, as we've talked about, they yielding a market capitalization of almost $1 trillion. The hard-earned achievement sparked some discussions. Why has the California-based company enjoyed remarkable success in China, while some Chinese companies have experienced big losses amid a growing trade conflict with Washington? They're talking about the trade war. Well, see, what they're saying is that basically they think they want to use Apple as a bargaining chip against the trade war. Hold it sort of like hostage.
Yes.
So
you want to charge us tariffs? Well, what about this?
In the case of the iPhone, some statistics show Chinese processors only get 1.8% of total profits created by the device. See, so they see now how much percent that they made. So Apple recently reported financial results for its fiscal third quarter ended in June 30th, and sales to the Greater China region gained 19% to $9.6 billion amid escalating trade frictions. See, the sales have gone up over in China as well.
Yeah.
As would expect, because the product sold over there too and in other places. So it's interesting. So there actually sounds like to me that there's they want sort of a refund from a little bit of the pie.
Apple, you're doing so well. How about a little piece of the action?
All right. They want some more of the action. See, last week it says here China said it was ready to retaliate with tariffs on around $60 billion of U.S. goods. Okay.
Yeah, and that's been in the mainstream news. I mean,
correct.
Like the auto manufacturers that produce vehicles overseas are concerned about that.
Yes.
And rightly so, because I mean, it's eventually, if that happens, it's going to cost the consumer more.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, that's what always happens. They have to either that or they have to cut back in some ways at the actual company that makes these products.
Oh, they ain't going to do that.
Well, they might. They might cut back in employees. You never know.
Yeah, let's hope not.
When the Hey Techies show returns, I think we got rumors possibly coming up right around the corner here.
And we'll talk about more stuff.
Sure.
And then more stuff after that.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Hey Techies show. Be right back.
No representation is made that the opinions of hosts here are better than those of the average tech show, but we think so.
This is an Alabama legacy moment.
The Little River Canyon National Preserve, located in Cherokee County, was created in 1992 by an act of the U.S. Congress and was dedicated as a unit of the National Park Service. The area's focal point is the Little River, which flows along Lookout Mountain and is an outdoor recreation destination. Small waterfalls, sandstone bluffs, trails, creeks, and streams draw visitors to the area.
Sponsored by the Alabama Bicentennial Commission, the ABA, and this station.
When a child plays with blocks, the skills of a future engineer, rocket scientist, contractor, and architect are developing. A child on the playground is practicing the skills of a future athlete. When a child creates art, the skills of a future illustrator, author, and artist are being discovered. In a first-class pre-K classroom, children do all these things and discover a lifetime love of learning. For more information on pre-K, go to children.alabama.gov or just Google pre-K in Alabama. Sponsored by Alabama Department of Early Childhood Education, the Alabama Broadcasters Association, and this station.
An Alabama legacy moment.
Birmingham native Erskine Hawkins was a prominent African-American trumpeter, bandleader, and composer during the big band era of the 1930s and 40s. His Erskine Hawkins Orchestra was a popular dance band in New York City, and with it he recorded the hit Tuxedo Junction, about a streetcar intersection on the Ensley-Fairfield line that was a center of nightlife for African Americans. Hawkins is a member of the Alabama Music and the Alabama Jazz Halls of Fame.
Sponsored by the Alabama Bicentennial Commission, the ABA, and this station.
Welcome back into the Hey Techies Show. Hope everybody's doing well. And if you'd like to be a part of the show, questions at heytechieshow.com, or we can try to get you on the phone. We've had a little bit of a technical difficulty tonight, but that
can't
number,
promise anything with the phone.
256-782
5600,
and we'll be glad to get you on the phone.
So it's rumor time.
Oh.
Ooh. I know everybody's the part everybody's been waiting for.
Absolutely.
No, probably the part they're waiting for is 9 p.m. for us to get off the air. No, I hope not. Got two rumors. And one of them is not Apple.
Oh,
I know that's shocking. But so here's one. Google has leaked the new Pixel 3 to YouTubers.
Okay.
And we now have a release date. So word of mouth is that the leaks, and it seems that Google has entered into a field of their own leak regarding the upcoming Pixel 3 and Pixel 3 XL smartphones. But can you even consider it a leak? Is what it's saying here in this article from No Techie. I've never heard of No Techie. Maybe they're trying to compete with us. Anyway, the Pixel 3 information was openly posted to Google's FameBit website. I didn't know that was a thing. But anyway, so there's some pictures and some stuff about it, and it's a great phone. But get an iPhone and you'll be a lot more happy. But the release date, according to this leak, is October 4th, 2018.
October 4th for the Pixel 3.
Yeah, but just get an iPhone, you'll be a lot happier. Get a real phone, get an iPhone.
Yeah.
So the other rumor I have is Apple related. It's shocking, I know. There's more evidence is emerging to suggest the 2018 iPhones will not be bundled with Lightning to headphone jack adapters. I'm not saying it won't have a Lightning jack.
I got what you're saying.
But it won't have the adapter. Like my iPhone 8 Plus, when I purchased it, it does not have a headphone jack per se, a traditional 3.5 millimeter headphone jack.
Right.
So it came with a little adapter that plugs into the Lightning port, and the other end is a 3.5 millimeter jack where you can plug in traditional wired headphones. But it's been, it's according to this article, it's been nearly 2 years since Apple released the iPhone 7 without the headphone jack. We've talked about that on the show. They, like I said, it comes with this adapter. So if you have wired headphones like myself, you could use that adapter and it right out of the box. But Cirrus Logic, a supplier of the adapter, has apparently confirming quotes, that the dongle won't be bundled with Apple's widely rumored trio of new iPhones expected next month, according to Barclays research note. Barclays has already anticipated this would be the case earlier this year. And here's a quote here from that research note is quoted here. Reported a beat, but gave mixed guidance with revenue below but earnings ahead, whatever that means. Cirrus didn't update this FY19 guide, but they did finally confirm the dongle loss, adding more support for our below estimates. That's
the dongle loss. They're cutting off dongles.
Yes, apparently they are.
Apple's removing their dongles.
Yeah. So, apparently it will not come with that adapter, but you'll still be able to purchase it. I'm assuming.
Oh, yeah, of course.
For now,
I mean,
but Apple will. It says in this article, Apple will likely continue to sell the adapter as a standalone accessory for $9, which is cheap by its standards. So customers won't have to be forced to pay too much extra. But it's another $10 less in your pocket. Anyway, I thought about this too. I told you this before the show. We've talked about some of these rumors and stuff about Apple wanting this like portless, jackless, totally wireless device. Like,
yes,
even charge it wirelessly, use your headphones wirelessly. But I was just thinking something. A lot of these cars have these connected technologies, whether it's the CarPlay, whether it's some sort of proprietary system, whether they use some other system, or you buy a radio at the store. You put a third party, aftermarket radio in your vehicle, usually to get the full benefit of using your smartphone with that radio is you have to connect it via USB. Am I correct?
Yes, it would make sense that
you can do some stuff through like a Bluetooth, like the audio streaming, but to make full use, and I use this, for example, with my vehicle, if I want to browse playlists and artists and songs, podcasts, using the head unit of the radio in the car, it has to be connected with a wire. That will not work through Bluetooth. I can use my phone and start a playlist, and then I can advance tracks through Bluetooth, but I can't browse my device. So just think about that for a second. If an Apple device, iPhone, did not have that port, how would that stuff would stop working?
Yeah, you would think.
So this. And I think it'll come one day when they mature some more technologies to where you can do this data connectivity wirelessly a lot better in a vehicle, but we're not there yet. And Apple, if they do this coming time, man, it's going to really make me angry.
I tell you what I saw this week. I saw, and I don't have a link, but I know.
All right, Bruce Jr.
It was in my, while going here and there and everywhere. I saw some leaked video of claim that they were the new iPhones.
Oh.
And what it looked, and I'm just going to tell you, all three of them had notches.
Well, that's been some of the rumors.
Well, now let me finish.
Okay.
All three of them had no fingerprints.
I won't be buying it then.
I'm telling you,
I'll just keep what I've got.
I think I'm going to be right on the show. I think I'm going to be able to come back to this show the day this happens and say I was right. They are going to Face ID only.
No, sorry, Apple.
I'm telling. Well, just mark it today, the 9th.
I will say this: if that's the case, I will not use it in its current form.
What choice will you have?
Well, I'll use a passcode or a password or something.
Yeah, I guess you could use.
I mean,
pen.
You don't have to
No,
touch,
I know that's
Touch
true.
ID. You don't have to turn it on.
No,
either.
you're right. You're right. You don't.
I won't use it.
Yeah.
Take that, Apple.
Look, I could be totally wrong, but and that could be a total hoax too. You know how things on the internet. So
here's the thing. Now I'm saying this in like a year or two from now, and I have one of these devices. Y'all gonna be like, "Oh, Guru, you said this on air, so it's out there."
Right.
As it stands right now.
Right. I get it.
I will not have.
I wonder if our audience would use Touch ID. I'm sorry, Face ID. Thank you for correcting me. I didn't mean that. I wonder how many of our audience would use Face ID.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I don't think we're going to be able to find out either.
No,
they're falling the way it is.
Probably not.
There's some crazy. We got to check it.
Send us an email.
Yeah, questions at heytechieshow.com. We would be interested to know if you would use.
Or do you currently use? Are you concerned about it?
Are you?
I have some reservations about it.
Right.
Anyway.
Right. By the way, along with this that you brought up, phones.
Yeah.
According to a deal apparently at AT&T, you can buy one Note 9 and get another Note 9 for free.
Oh.
So buy one, get one. But here's the catch.
How much is a Note 9?
You have to, let's see, it goes online and in stores on August 24th for $33.34 for 30 months.
Say that again.
You can get
$33.34
for 30 months. You can get this offer, and so it's $1,000.
Okay, that's what I was about to do the math.
And it's on AT&T's next installment plan. You have to do the 30-month on their installment plan.
Wow.
And according to this,
My concern would it still be getting updates in 30 months?
well, my concern would be, why would you want a Samsung? But that's a whole nother issue.
Why would you want an Android device? Let's just put that out there.
Hey. Okay, smarty pants.
Well,
my wife has one, and we got in this discussion earlier tonight.
So she has a Samsung?
Oh, yeah. She loves it. I said, I don't see why.
Sorry, Fran. I'm sorry you've got one.
Of course, she doesn't use a lot of some of the features. Like I would love someone to call the show and tell me they use Bixby. That's what I want to know. Who of Samsung actually uses Bixby for their personal assistant? That's what I want to know. You don't use Google Assistant. You actually use the Bixby Assistant. I would be curious to find out somebody who uses it. My wife doesn't use it. So I would like to know somebody who uses it and if they enjoy it, because I just don't understand a third-party personal assistant. I mean, that's what it is. That's what I think of. It's not pure Google, and it'd be like using Google. It'd be like using Google products for a personal assistant on an iOS device instead of Siri.
It'd be like using
instead of Siri.
Yeah, but I wasn't thinking competing, because Samsung's not really competing with Google.
Well, sure they are. Why would they not?
I guess in terms of hardware, yes.
They certainly are competing. They're competing with everybody. They're certainly competing with Google
it'd be like
Pixel.
It'd be like us writing some sort of third-party, some sort of assistant that we
need that
iOS.
on the show. We need that on the show. A third-party assistant that just answers questions on
yes.
the show. That we can just say something to. Answers random questions.
Isn't that Bruce?
Well, but he's not here. So
we need an intern.
Yeah, well,
really
I would love to have an intern. Because I know exactly what I'd have them do. The show notes as we listen, boy, that'd be great. Be
fantastic.
It would be fantastic. If you
need something for your resume,
if you want experience, because it's not going to be any pay.
Michael at HeyTechieShow.com.
Yeah, right. You can be a part of the Hey Techie Show. Would love to have that. So so there's that. But also, by the way, Guru, another thing.
Okay.
Real quick, another thing that I want to add, because we're doing phones right here in this little segment.
You want an iPhone? Okay.
No.
Moving on.
That's a lie. Supposedly on Monday, I've seen it reported that the next version of Android, which is Android P, which apparently stands for pie, supposedly
pimento cheese.
No, it's not that.
No.
Supposedly is going to be
pecan pie.
Yeah, right. Released. Yeah, pecan pie. To Pixel phones.
When? Next week?
Monday, supposedly.
You have a Pixel phone, don't you?
Yes, I do. I have a two. And I'm hoping I get it. I mean, now, I'm supposed to get it. I mean, it's supposed to update from Google, not Verizon. I mean, I think they have to approve some things, but
yeah, that's why I don't like these Android phones.
I understand. We beat that into the ground.
When Apple releases iOS, it's out there. Whether I choose to take it or not is the other question, but it's out there. Anyway,
I understand.
If you decide what phone to get an iPhone. But if you want an iPhone today, wait a few weeks, because you may be able to either get a new one, which I don't know why you want that Face ID stuff, or you can get like the iPhone 8 Plus cheaper, or iPhone 8 cheaper. So it won't be the latest and greatest anymore, but it's still a good phone. There you go.
Well, I'm very curious to see. I mean, I really want to see the chip. Of course, one thing that will be changing. I mean, I don't have a notch.
Oh, you're part of the notchless.
Well,
like
you're right.
me.
So I'll have to make mine notchless. You know, there's ways in the software to say that you have a notch or you don't have a notch.
You'll feel deprived because you're notchless?
I will not, because I'm not I don't know how I feel about the notch. Really, I don't know that I have one way or the other, because
I could care less.
Yeah, I don't.
That's my personal
really
thing.
have I don't know.
You don't know.
I really
don't. I
don't.
don't know either. I don't know why you want an Android phone anyway. I'm not gonna let you live that down.
No, it's fine. Live what down?
I want Bruce to get an iPhone. I'm so ready for him to switch.
Oh, please.
Oh, he will. Let's wait and see.
Not if they do. I wonder if he would do it if they really do away with the fingerprint sensor. I wonder what would happen on that.
We'll have to ask him when he's back on the show.
I thought we have talked about that. I don't remember his total.
I don't remember either. You probably went around the world when you discussed it. So. Well, I'm just saying.
Oh,
I'm just saying, Michael.
We are apparently. We are. Yeah.
We are. And everything and all that. I had something else here, but
please do.
It's
because I'm trying to get something together here.
Yeah, I'm glad you are because I'm
no. I'm trying to do something on the show now.
I see this, and this kind of makes me think because I shared something with you on your personal Facebook earlier this week.
Oh, I must have missed it because probably haven't been on Facebook, so I must have missed. Did I reply to it?
Yes, you did. It was.
Oh, well, what did I?
Let me just find it. Hang on.
I've already forgotten.
Well, hang on.
Did Michael dream?
Well, unless somebody else hacked your Facebook.
No, that did not happen. I can promise you that did not happen.
Yeah, this was it's the limited edition. Not limited edition. It's a hard disk you've been waiting for. The 10 megabyte hard disk.
Okay, now I remember
for $3,398. This is like some old ad. I don't know from what year, but I sent this to Michael.
Was that this week?
Yeah, it was August the 5th when I shared that with you. But anyway, but you've got an article out here from Anantech and Antec. The IBM and Everspin announced a 19 terabyte.
Yeah, that's right.
NVMe SSD with MRAM write cache.
Yes, a
19 terabyte.
Yeah.
Hard disk.
Yes.
Wow.
It's SSD, yeah.
Yeah, SSD. That is unreal.
Yeah, that's big stuff right there, baby.
Yeah, so it's I'm trying to see if it has a price.
It does. It has a price to go with it.
$3,398. I don't know. That's the price at 10 meg back in the day.
I'll bet it's more than that.
I don't see a price in this article.
Yeah, anyway, I don't remember.
It's $1 million.
It's not that.
19 terabyte. I bought I think a 4. About 6 terabyte recently. Not SSD, a spinning drive for my little network. Not network. It's not really a network attached storage. It's more like my RAID array.
Right.
I paid like $200 for it. That stuff used to be real expensive.
Oh yeah, it did. Of course, this is going to have NAND, so I mean that's
that's
fairly new.
But the flash memory, the flash drive, the SSDs are way on out there in price. Anyway,
I think this thing's going to be outrageous. I mean, first of all, it has IBM.
Well, there you go. For starters, old Big Blue, they pride of their products. Everspin is apparently the only supplier of these discrete MRAM chips. And they've been pushing capacities higher, and they're currently available 256 meg chips and 1 gig chips.
Right.
That will be sampling by the end of the year. This is being enabled by their migration from an in-house manufacturing on wafers fabbed at Freescale to a partnership with Global Foundries to make MRAM on their 22 nanometer FDSOI process. Sounds very technical. I have no idea what that is.
What? The Techie Show. We're supposed to know these things.
Try to keep it where it's not too techie.
Well, anyway.
But it's going to be a 2.5-inch disc.
Yeah. Well,
that's typical size nowadays for
for SSD.
It fit like in a
hard drive.
It fit like in a laptop.
Laptop, yeah, that's what I was trying to say. But I couldn't spit that out.
19 terabytes, man, that's crazy.
Yeah, just think if that went belly up though.
Ooh,
at one time.
You better have another one standing by with a backup on it.
Yeah.
Imagine how long it take to back up to the cloud.
Oh no,
it's taking me months to get a couple terabytes up to the cloud, man.
Yeah, I don't.
A couple like single digit. Small single digit.
Right.
Anyway, so I saw that you put that in this stack. I thought that was very interesting. And then I thought about what I shared with you earlier this week about the 10 megabyte hard disk. It's the hard disk you've been waiting for, according to this article from it was limited stock, so you better place your order quickly. Did you order one, Michael?
No.
Why not? They're gonna run out.
That's okay.
Anyway.
Well, I know most everybody has probably seen or heard about the ongoing fight, if you will, that now tech companies have gotten into about hate speech and what is hate speech and should it be taken off the air. And Should it be taken off social media? And I know there's a lot of voices one way or the other. And, one person that has been the lightning rod around this for a lot of reasons, I think it's more of conservative reasons that he's just not liked. And I'm not saying I agree with everything, but it's Alex Jones, and one of his one big website he's connected to is InfoWars. And lots of people don't like InfoWars, and lots of people love InfoWars. And whatever you might feel about it is, the question I have is, and it's speech. He hasn't gone out and murdered anybody. He doesn't go and protest and throw things at people and physically hurt them. Some people say, well, by his words he hurts them. Well, that could be the case, but it's still speech. I mean, in movies, they say almost anything they want to, no matter what they hurt, or any kind, and even on TV shows. Even down to very interesting to me, the sort of the double standard here, because in politics, the way that the politicians have worked it, you can't be sued for the things you say in a political ad once against the other. It can be totally false, and they have a deal with each other that they can't sue each other over it.
Yeah.
I mean, they think that the freedom of speech, according to the way they act, is more important than whether or not it's true. Now, I'm not one for lying, and I don't like to promote lies.
Right.
I'm not.
I agree with you on that.
Right, and I don't want to be a part of it. But the problem, the big problem, and I've got a bunch of articles here, and I don't even know if we could go through them.
Well,
but I can get through part of it.
Yeah.
But to me, the big thing here is this is such a slippery slope. Today, it's one of these things where maybe everybody could say, with the average person looking at it, yeah, that's kind of hateful. Yeah, but tomorrow or the next day, it may be something you believe in that all of a sudden is deemed to be hate speech. That's the big concern to me. And I think that is an extremely difficult and terrible slippery slope. And, yes, we've already been going down it. Somebody said, oh, this has been going for some time. Yeah, it has to an extent, but I don't know that all these voices coming from the political side have been as loud as they have to want to force the hand of these independent companies, these privately owned companies, or in some cases publicly owned, but owned as a private business.
Right.
It's not owned by the government per se.
Yes, private sector.
Right, private sector company, or a free market company, if you will, if you'd like that terminology better. Technically they have a right to remove what they don't want on their product. I don't have anything against that. I'm just concerned that this is going to escalate, and every time there's some type of organized outcry that they don't like what somebody says, well, then that's the next thing to go.
And to kind of put a little pause here, Wikipedia, you go to the hate speech page on Wikipedia, the first sentence defines it. At least this is Wikipedia, of course, but I think this is a pretty good definition. It is speech that attacks a person or group on the basis of attributes such as race, religion, ethnic origin, national origin, sex, disability, sexual orientation, or gender identity. That's how it's defined here.
Yeah, but
and that gives. I'm a firm believer. Respect everybody for who they are.
Yeah, I understand.
that. But you start getting this whole politics stuff, and this is where this is all leading to: is politics and political. Whether you believe in this or that, you're right, left, center, Republican, Democrat. I don't care. I don't know. And it gets to the point now, Michael. I'm just like, I end up tuning this stuff out. It gets on my nerves. All this is out here. It's just kind of like, it's almost like static now to me.
I understand.
Because I respect everybody for who they are, and if you have a differing view than I am, that is great and wonderful. Because we all, as Americans, at least we're, as Americans, we have that right to have our opinion.
But it looks to me, though, from what I'm reading, that a lot of conservative viewpoints are being taken down in one way or another.
And that's what I told you.
Social
that's
networks.
what I told you for the show. Is I do have a problem with these social platforms that are very popular. There is no doubt that, like Facebook and Twitter, I don't want to call anybody out, but I'm just saying these social networks, social media has become so much in our lives.
And even
today.
Google's doing it on YouTube. They've gotten Apple's pulling podcasts.
I have a problem with these companies trying to kind of rig the system, if you will, to where they suppress certain things and promote certain things because of political persuasion, whether it's left, right, whatever. If it's a candidate or an ideal or whatever, I have a problem with that.
Yeah.
And I know they use algorithms to try to give you relevant content. I mean, and from a business perspective, they're trying to sell ads and sell things. That's how they're monetizing the business, because you're not paying to use these services.
Right.
So I know there's some of that going on, and that's fine for that. But to suppress content that is on one side or the other of the political aisle, I have a problem with that.
Yeah.
But I will say this: if we have a problem with that, which like I said, I do, and if there's evidence to prove that, then it's going to take us en masse, to say we're done with you, whatever social network that is, and speak with our voices and go somewhere else. Because if we go somewhere else, then the users leave, and thus the ad revenue leaves, and then maybe that'll get their attention when it starts affecting them in terms of the money they can bring in to operate.
Right.
I mean, do you agree? I mean, what's your thoughts? Kind of.
Well, I totally understand it. I totally agree about what the from the consumer standpoint, what the real solution is going to have to be, which is actually consumers taking charge of the power that they have and either saying it one way or the other with removing themselves.
It's just like if you do business with a particular company for whatever it is, and you have a bad experience or whatever happens, and you're like, I'm done with this company. I'm not giving them any more of my business. You speak with your wallet. I use that term a lot. Speak with your wallet. And you give your money and your business to somebody else.
Axios has put together, now I don't know totally how accurate it is, but they put together, and this is a survey of U.S. adults from October 3rd, 2017 to January 2nd, 2018. And what it's supposed to be is a most polarizing brands. And so they give extremes like they've got a scale from -50 to +75.
Okay.
And then they use Dem with blue, Democrat with blue, and GOP with red.
Okay.
So if you're in the plus column, that means the item over here to the left, this group likes or approves of that. If you're in the minus column, that many of that group disagrees, polarized the opposite way of the group on that topic. So the color by party with the highest favorability. So they went down here and colored the GOP red, and the Democrats in this instance are the blue, okay? And the first one is Trump Hotels. It has a plus of like 30 for the GOP side and a minus of almost 50 for the Democrat side. See, it's a polarizing issue.
Right, and that truly is. You're correct.
And then they have CNN. Okay,
I know this is going, but go ahead.
Yeah, it has a plus of like 50. Let's see, that looks like 55 on the Dem side.
Okay,
so it's polarized to 55 plus.
Right.
Okay, and then on the negative side, which is odd to me in a way, it's like 15.
Really?
For negative. So the GOP goes 15 to negative.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I would expect it to be a lot more negative.
Well, this is interesting too.
Okay.
The third one is Fox News, most polarized.
I was curious about if that was on here.
Okay.
Okay.
The Dem is at 0. Meaning it's not.
It's neutral.
Yeah, sort of neutral, but the positive of the GOP is a little bit above where CNN was. It's like probably 57, 58.
And
it's hard
75 is the
right.
maximum.
75 is the max. There's only one thing that gets to 75, and we'll talk about that if we get down. Let's see. Yeah, we got. I can go one more minute here.
Yeah,
we can go
ahead.
long here. I won't do all of them. But Chick-fil-A is another one, which is Chick-fil-A is interesting. Both theirs are on the positive side.
Okay.
The dim and the
good chicken sandwich
plus 25 for the Dems, and almost. I mean, they're not the closest to 75, but they're pretty darn close.
That's
for
a good
GOP.
chicken sandwich at Chick-fil-A. I mean, I think that's something we all agree on.
ABC News almost the closest to plus 75 for Dems, and they're plus 20 or so.
Okay,
15 or so for a GOP. The one that looks like it's the closest is actually CBS.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if they're saying CBS News
or just
or CBS,
the broad portfolio.
right? Because they are plus almost 75, probably in 70 for the Dems, and they're well over to almost probably plus 30 or 40 for GOP.
And talk about Chick-fil-A. Now I'm hungry for a chicken sandwich.
Yeah.
We got our Chick-fil-A on campus opens back up in a few weeks.
Yeah, they've changed that a lot.
Yeah.
Well, when we come back, we'll move on to maybe covering a little bit more of this and maybe tidying up our conversation on this a little bit. Hey, Techie Show. Be right back.
HeyTechiesShow.com. Open 24/7, as long as we don't forget to pay the bill.
This is an Alabama legacy moment.
Harper Lee is best known as the author of one of the most affecting and widely read books of American literature, To Kill a Mockingbird. The native Alabamian drew deeply from her coming-of-age years in her small hometown of Monroeville. The film version of To Kill a Mockingbird underscored the success of the novel with its own success.
Sponsored by the Alabama Bicentennial Commission, the ABA, and this station.
The skills you can develop as a soldier in the Army National Guard can give you an edge in the high-tech job market of tomorrow. The Guard offers career training to take advantage of your skills in science, technology, engineering, and math that can help give you a leg up to a high-paying and rewarding STEM profession. Get a head start on your career while earning money to pay for college. Log on to NationalGuard.com to learn about all of the STEM career opportunities in the Army National Guard. Sponsored by the Alabama Army National Guard. Aired by the Alabama Broadcasters Association and this station.
An Alabama legacy moment.
Ruby Pickens Tart was one of the foremost chroniclers of folklore, folk music, and narratives of African Americans in rural Alabama. She helped to fill the manuscript and music collections of the Library of Congress and the Federal Writers Project. Ruby Pickens Tart continues to affect the world of folk music and culture as her notes are rediscovered by a new generation of scholars and musicians. She was inducted into the Alabama Women's Hall of Fame in 1980.
Sponsored by the Alabama Bicentennial Commission, the ABA, and this station.
You're listening to the Hey Techies Show on WLJS Jacksonville.
Welcome back into the Hey Techie Show.
One thing is for certain, even without social media, we will still be safe and sound.
Really?
That's what the song says. Anyway, I tried to segue that in, but I did a horrible job.
What are you talking about? Oh, heavens.
Anyway.
I don't know what you're talking about, but anyway.
The one thing I was saying,
you do a great job.
I said this during the break, and I wanted to make sure I bring this point out about like social media in general. I think, I made the statement that if we don't approve of what one of these are doing, that we should take our voice elsewhere and just quit using them because we kind of deny them the ad placement revenue that they would get.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, free market society type concept. But the problem is, I think for a good majority of us, we're so addicted to these platforms.
According to this, Guru, speaking of what you're talking about,
okay,
the BGR.com website. This is an article by Andy Meek, and apparently he writes that $4 billion, that according to a new study shared with CNBC by market research from SimilarWeb, is how many monthly page visits Facebook has shed in a slow drip, but nevertheless huge.
You said 4 million?
4 billion.
Oh, billion.
They say, according to this, in a study shared with CNBC by SimilarWeb, it's a research firm, that they've had a downturn. 4 billion monthly page visits Facebook has shed in a slow drip. And one of the things they attribute it to, they say it's been falling since 2016, according to the study. But one thing they believe it has been that YouTube has picked many of these up, that people who were switching from that to YouTube.
Well, I will say personally, I tend to watch more YouTube now than I used to a few years ago, because now there's, this term, the YouTubers, the people that have these channels, and I tend to there's a handful that I subscribe to that, I'll go over to YouTube.com and say, look at my subscriptions, and they got a new video. Let me watch it.
It says the 5 websites receiving the most traffic in the U.S. in the last several years have been Google, Facebook, YouTube, Yahoo, and Amazon. In that order, apparently.
Wow. So
let's see.
Go to Amazon a lot, too.
They say Facebook has seen a severe decline in monthly page visits from 8.5 billion to 4.7 billion in the last 2 years, the study found.
So it's almost half.
Right.
Half as few.
Almost, according to those numbers.
Well, again, like I
that's
said,
just a little bit more to add
if you don't agree with the service,
to the hopper.
Go somewhere else. There you go. So let me bring this out real quick. We've got a few minutes left here before we have to depart, everybody, for the week. So I saw this earlier this week. Wells Fargo is back in the news. They've had some different, I guess you call them scandals, where this is scandals.
Oh yeah, they've had all kind of stuff.
The one is I guess the most famous is where they were basically signing people up for these financial services or programs or products, and without their permission, just to try to boost their quotas, I guess you could call it. But get this was interesting. Me as a software developer, this was very interesting. Wells Fargo says hundreds lost homes after computing error. You're like, how's that? So software mistakes are normally, this is an article from Engadget, they're normally, inconveniences. We had a bug, like, why's my bill this much? Oh, it was a bug. We'll fix it. But here's the thing. So according to an SEC filing recently from Wells Fargo, they revealed in that filing there was a, quote, calculation error, end quote, in its mortgage loan modification underwriting tool that led to...
What? In English, please.
Yeah, let me play that. So where's that at? I can't find it. I can't find it anyway.
Go ahead.
Here it is.
Yeah.
Basically, what that I think is, I'm not a mortgage broker or expert.
I'm just kidding.
But if you're having trouble staying current on your mortgage,
right,
there's programs and things in place where you may potentially be able to modify the terms of your mortgage.
Okay,
so you won't default and your home be foreclosed on, you lose it. So there's apparently some software that Wells Fargo has to qualify people for this modification of your mortgage. So according to the filing, the calculation error in that software led to about 625 customers either being denied loan changes or not receiving offers when they would have qualified. 625 customers. Roughly 400 of those customers eventually lost their homes to foreclosure.
Wow.
And that's what's sad. Think about 400 people or 400 families that could have potentially could have stayed in their homes, but they couldn't get the modification because of a computer glitch.
Right.
A bug. The bank did stress in the statement to CNN Money that the bug didn't necessarily cause the foreclosures, but it certainly didn't help. Well, that's a true statement. So the glitch existed between April 30th of 2010 and, get this, October 20th of 2015. Over 5 years.
Wow.
This bug existed. That's when the error was fixed in October of 2015. Wells Fargo has apologized for the error and stated that it's, quote, providing remediation, end quote. That includes an $8 million fund set aside for those affected by the flaw. So, of course, this goes on to say the other problems they've had recently. But, that just God just broke my heart for those families.
Yeah.
And I mean, as software developers, those that are in that business, I mean, I know the ones I work with and the ones I've ever spoke to. I mean, they strive to have the stuff error free, and
right.
you hope you don't do this because, I mean, it's one thing that your cable bill's messed up or your cell phone bill's messed up, but it's another thing for somebody to lose their house.
Right.
That really this really bothers me, and it just should be a drive for anybody that's in software development, just to make sure you. But the thing is, we're all human.
Sure.
And we make mistakes.
Most people are.
Yeah, we make mistakes, and it's hard to test for every scenario.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
Something I wrote today, I realized that I need to add some more stuff in there to keep from doing undesirable effects. I mean, I'll just leave it at that. But I mean, we all it's a constant learning thing. But man, Wells Fargo just it's not getting a break.
Yeah, that's true. Speaking of things like this, a headline: 0 Day Shop opens the floodgates for people to sell exploits to governments.
Oh, really?
According to a Motherboard article.
To governments.
Yes.
So they could potentially spy on people.
Crowd Defense,
oh, man.
a Dubai-based company which buys exploits from researchers and then sells them to government agencies, is making it somewhat easier for people who may not usually sell exploits to get into the industry. Thursday, the company...
So they're an exploit broker.
The company announced its so-called vulnerability research platform where researchers can submit and sell individual exploits rather than requiring a full chain. It provides a web interface for researchers to communicate and coordinate their sales to Crowd Defense. Nice. So governments use exploits and sometimes 0 Day exploits. Yes, which use vulnerabilities not known to the manufacturer of the target software. Yeah, we know.
Yeah,
but that's what it is. So they've really they are going out there with this.
Man, I just couldn't in good conscience do that.
No, me either. But then again, I'm not a black hat or whatever hat. One of them hats.
Man, that's just awful.
I wonder if Bruce is going to be able to bring me a white hat back. He sent me a picture of a white hat.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
He didn't send me one.
I don't know why he didn't send that. I don't know what he was doing. He just sent. I think because I mentioned it so much, and even on the show the week before, I said, "White, bring us a white hat." Yeah. Well, look. The Guru and I have had a great show. Unfortunately, we had a caller, but it didn't work out.
Sorry, Daniel. We'll try to figure out what happened with the phones.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened, but we may try to figure it out. So, anyway, we hope all of you are having a wonderful evening. And, of course, you can catch us again next Thursday right here, same bat channel and the similar bat time, but 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Here,
Central Daylight Time.
Yeah,
we're still in daylight saving time.
Well, whatever. It's in the Central Time Zone.
If you say standard,
Central Time Zone.
U.S. Central.
Look for the Central Time Zone in the U.S., and you will have a 7 p.m., and we hope to be on. We try to be on every week. Sometimes we don't make it, but if you want to know more about the show, HeyTechiesShow.com, and you can find everything about the show.
Podcast. You can catch the previous shows.
That's right. If you missed this, you can catch
134 out there to listen to.
Right. From all of us to all of you, have a fabulous weekend.